story time. We love a tale that's so sublime. Got some popcorn, feeling fine. 'Cause here comes story time. 'Cause here comes story time.
An old man suddenly arrived in hell in a burst of flames, looking confused and lost. The devil looked at his paperwork and frowned. He was unable to find this old man's data file.
This can't be right.
The old man grumbled, looking at the devil.
I've been a good man all my life.
The devil nodded apologetically. Most people said this when they arrived in hell.
Why don't you start with how you died, and we'll figure it out,
he said. The old man sighed and said,
Well, I was out with my grandchildren enjoying a fun day out. I don't get the grandchildren often because my eyesight is starting to fade. But we were having the most wonderful time. And that's when everything went crazy. Out of nowhere, I spotted the largest, most grotesque mouse I've ever seen moving toward us. It was absolutely enormous. And that's when it moved. Straight toward the grandchildren first, limbs outstretched. You don't know where mice might have been. What if it had bitten one of them? Can you imagine if they got rabies on my watch?
So, what did you do?
The devil whispered, entranced by the story. He was munching on a box of popcorn. The old man continued.
You don't get how big this damn mouse was. Radiation it must have been. Too many cell phones these days, that's what causes it. I did the only thing I could. I grabbed my walking stick and I cracked it over the head. Now my eyesight isn't that good anymore, but I whacked it good. The kids started screaming at this point. You know how they get when you have to kill an animal? But I needed to keep going. You see, with mice, you need to see their guts to know they're dead. Otherwise, they might come back with others.
So, you killed it?
The devil asked. Some of his demons had come to listen to this story. The old man nodded.
By golly, I did. Guts and all were splattered for everybody to see. The kids had lost their minds at this point. Tears everywhere. A crowd had gathered as well, all screaming at the sight. It was at this point, though, that the exertion caught up with me. I felt my heart give way. I guess I must have suffered a heart attack. Next thing I know, I'm here.
Well, this doesn't seem to add up. Let me just give heaven a quick ring, and we'll try to see what's going on here.
The devil pulled up a phone from thin air and dialed a number.
St. Peter! Hey, bro, I think I've got one of yours here. His story checks out. Must have been a mix-up, you know.
The devil nodded as a voice on the phone spoke back to him. He gave the old man a silent celebratory thumbs up as the voice continued. The devil covered the phone speaker with his hand, turned to the old man and said,
You're all good. They just want to know where you were when you died.
The old man nodded.
Oh, that's easy. I was at Disneyland.
Story time, a tale, a joke, or a nursery rhyme. Listen up, you'll feel sublime. 'Cause here comes story time.
This is the late Red Fox, and if you keep listening to Tex's shit, you're gonna be insane, sucker.